And I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me. I can feel something, or what can it be?
My name is Mithali Patel. I'm born and raised in Bombay, currently living in Boston, where I'm at Harvard Medical School.
मेरा नाम निक है। मैं यूएसए से हूँ, लेकिन मैं टिकट खाना खाता हूँ।
How did you propose? In December, I have the great pleasure of marrying my boyfriend of 9 years. आपको Bollywood songs मालूम है?
मालूम है, तुम बचा ले, तुम निबड़ा, Mr. India, बनाऊंगे मैं. I can't sing no Bollywood.
I hope to see you all back in Bombay.
So what do you guys think? Isn't this couple absolutely endearing? And Nick, let me tell you this one thing. You are the man. But then such an unconventional union definitely does not come without its fair share of challenges. These guys are arriving 8 days before their wedding. Now calm down, Bharat. You are you. You're going to do this fairly well and you're going to take the makeover like a breeze. But someone, somewhere, is going completely bananas.
You know, this is so exasperating because they don't give you any time. They expect you to deliver everything. They want you to make good, perfect lehengas. And তুমি কি করছো? তুমি এসে এখানে help করো এটা আমাকে.
Sabya, I got you some lehenga lining options for Mithali's lehenga.
Listen, Baba, this is not going to work. This is not what I told you to do because she can't wear a red. She has to wear a yellow because that's what they want her to do. So, you know, I'm very irritated. You do something. I'll tell you. Go to the dyeing unit. Make sure that we are doing that kacha haldi color perfectly. I'll get the lining sorted out. ताहिर, ऐसा येलो नहीं चाहिए. इससे ना थोड़ा ज़्यादा कच्चा हल्दी का जो कलर होगा ना, ये तो थोड़ा लेमन टाइप का हो गया है. इसमें थोड़ा पक्का पीला, थोड़ा लाल दोगे? तो थोड़ा चलो थोड़ा. By the way, that's a nice color. I think we should do Nick Shirwani with this color.
This color?
Yeah. If there's only one person who can pull off this color, that's going to be him. And we better put that color on the show. It's a great color.
Okay.
Do you think it'll finish in 6 days? Put everybody else on the job. Sare karigar laga do. Put 50-60 people, but give them overtime. It has to finish because we don't have a choice. This is Band Baja Bride.
Now we must work with the fact that we have only but 8 days with this couple. In fact, Mithali and Nick landed only this morning, where our cameras caught their arrival at Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport, and Mithali's family gave them both a grand welcome.
Nick and I arrived at Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus Airport in Mumbai, and upon coming out from arrivals, we were greeted by my family, my sister, my mother, my father, my grandfather, and also the BBB crew.
Hi Team Band Baja Bride. I'm so excited to be back.
Hi, Team Band Baja Bride. How are you?
Once we got home, we all sat down and kicked our shoes off and just tried to reconnect. It had been such a long time. Mom made her chai. Mom's tea is the best tea in the world.
I wanted Mithali to be on Band Baja Bride because there was just 8 days to go for the wedding. Nick being an American, I wanted him to enjoy this typical Indian experience of a Indian wedding, and I'm a huge fan of Sabyasachi.
It was September 2004 and it was my first semester abroad. I noticed this boy who had, long hair that was blonde down to his shoulders,
very different from what I look like now. I noticed Mitali sitting next to me, and the first thing that I noticed about Mitali is that she's very beautiful.
So we decided to go to dinner together to celebrate, and that was our first date.
Let's tell them about the proposal.
Sure. So, for me, the story starts, I think, on December 3rd, which was the day before our 8th anniversary. At that point, I had an engagement ring that I was planning to give to Mitali, but I didn't know how to do it. So, I finally had came up with the idea of trying to find a beautiful spot to watch the sunset. Now, the only trick I had to do was to get Mitali to come out there with me without her knowing it was going to happen. So I'd asked her to try to get out of work early so that we could do a surprise date, but she didn't know what that surprise was going to be. So I showed up at about 3 o'clock to pick her up from work, and I drove down the long sliver of land and eventually parked the car near a small beach.
So we were just sitting there, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. And as we passed a little bit of the time, the sun started to go down, and there was a beautiful sunset.
We started taking pictures of it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, over the Boston skyline, and I positioned Mitali kind of to look at the Boston skyline ahead of her, and looked out, and I got down on one knee and asked her if she would marry me.
And I said yes.
Together, forever, together.
BBB also plays a really important role in helping document this special time for us. We are really looking forward to looking back on this episode in many years and cherishing the wonderful memories we made at the start of our lives together.
This season of TVZ Band Baja Bride is all about fairy tale romances and love stories that melt your heart. And in this one, I just do not know which one to like better. Mitali, poised and polished, or Nick, our American boy whose dil loves everything Hindustani. Or better still, maybe the mother, who's just so warm and is the one who's nominated her daughter for this show. Well, we'll decide that later because the time is of the essence. 8वां दिन तो उड़ भी गया. So let them rest a little. बेचारे थके हुए आए हैं, अमेरिका से आए हैं. Whilst I think I'm gonna pack them up tomorrow, day 7, to go and meet Sabyasachi.
Outset, I would like to complain that this show gives me a really hard time because have you ever heard of a designer getting 7 days to 8 days to churn up a wedding lehenga? I think that's unheard of, that's very unfair. Well, all stress has to end at some point of time, and mine ended when I met Mitali and Nick. What a lovely couple. They're robust, energetic, ready to face the world. So here it is. Mitali's lehenga is almost done, but Nick's sherwani has to be started right from scratch, and we are sitting 7 days before the wedding. First time in India, huh?
Yeah.
Is it a little daunting?
It's definitely daunting, but it's really exciting. It's overwhelming at times with all the people, all the smells, all the sounds.
Right.
But it's also really exciting and energetic, and I found everybody to be really, really warm.
But I'm sure she must have prepared you, huh? Well in advance.
Well, we've been watching some Bollywood movies and speaking little Hindi phrases back and forth.
So you need to rattle off a few lines in Hindi for me.
Sure. मेरा नाम निक है. मैं USA से हूँ, लेकिन मैं तीखा खाना खाता हूँ. When I met Sabyasachi for the first time, I was taken aback by how down-to-earth and modest he was for someone of the amount of success that I found he's had. So he was described to me as the very Vera Wang of Indian bridal wear. And for that, I could have seen him having a Devil Wears Prada type of personality, but he was very much down-to-earth and a great guy, and was very warm with me, and I had a blast at the studio.
So Mitali, you're Maharashtrian and Nick is American. I'm sure there were a lot of spicy fireworks about this relationship. How did your parents take it?
Well, when I told them many years ago, it came as quite a surprise. Their first reaction was over the phone, "Why are you telling us this?" So it turns out that we'd had like a don't ask, don't tell kind of rule, and I had no idea about it. And I said, I'm serious about this guy, you know, I think we're gonna last a long time. And then they came to our graduation ceremony where they met him, saw how wonderful he was, how sweet he was. And then over the years, it's been, 9 years that we've been dating. They've seen how dedicated he is to me, how dedicated we are to each other, and they know that I would not marry anyone else. And they've come to believe the same. There's no one else better for me.
Oh my God, he's freaking hot. And when we make out, he can make my heart stop.
The fact that they're both from Harvard, super intelligent, super accomplished, does not take away from the fact that they're so much in love. Tell me, I read in your form that you were very, very specific that you wanted to wear a yellow lehenga. I want to know, how did that start?
So when I imagine the Indian bride, I think of the colors red, maroon, and crimson, those classic bridal shades. However, our bhaji, who's performing our marriage ceremony, told my mother that I need to be wearing yellow.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is interesting. Why do I have to be different than all the other Indian brides? I want to look like a classic, beautiful Indian bride. And my mom said that, she had worn yellow, and my grandmother had worn yellow, and her great-grandmother had worn yellow. So Maharashtrian people, it turns out, wear yellow at their marriages. That is something I definitely want to stick to and embody and pass on to my children, hopefully, too. So.
Nick clearly adores Mithali because he's ready to do everything for her. He's come to India, he's embraced the culture, he's learned the language. And Mithali, I just want to tell you something. Welcome to Band Baja Bride, because you make us so proud that you're right up there at Harvard, embracing the whole world, but yet you do not forget your traditions, and you chose to wear a yellow lehenga because that is what your mother and your grandmother and your great-grandmother wore for their wedding. Way to go, girl. And Nick, I thought I'll tell you that I'm going to give you a beautiful sherwani. It's going to be mint green. Something that matches your yellow lehenga.
I was really excited and a little bit relieved because I don't know a thing about picking out a sherwani for myself, and I knew Mithali would have an absolutely beautiful outfit when he did it for her, so I was a little nervous that I would look like a pauper next to her.
Right now, I think it's makeover time for the groom. We start this by making you dress up like a Maharaja. Lots of jewelry, heavy earrings, a lot of coal in your eyes. I'm just kidding, but let's just get there.
We started off by getting him measured for his own special sherwani, and also, hilariously, putting him in a feta or safa.
It's just a thing that you do.
So this gentleman with kajal-rimmed eyes, clearly a professional, came up with this red sari-length thing and wrapped it around Nick's head. Nick is not facing the mirror. He has no idea what's going on. Sabyasachi called over his makeup guru and had him accessorize Nick's look.
Baby boy, you're making me wanna scream.
Well, you thought that you were going to get married and it was so easy. Well, it's a part of your identity.
Everybody, looking at me. Yeah, man, I'm a VIP. I got the ride, I got the crown, I got the chicks, I got the money.
Oh my God.
That's what an Indian Maharaja looks like.
What do you think? Do I look like a real Maharaja?
Absolutely.
I knew I was going to look absolutely hilarious, and so when I turned around, I was really shocked. I think when my friends and when my family see that, they're going to be rolling on the floor in laughter.
I'm going to take you out on a royal treat on the streets of Mumbai.
Like this?
Of course, that's the entire point, man. Come, let's go, come. Guys, the big surprise of today's evening is actually a very big surprise, and here it comes. Whoa. Special couples require special attention on the show. And since the couple came all the way from Harvard, we thought that we'll top it up with a great little bus ride onto the nightlife of Mumbai. Come take a peek with us. I just can't wait to dig in. I'm so hungry, but while we're at it, let's also see what Mumbai looks like tonight.
gonna take a bite before the food bounces into my mouth.
This is a rather bumpy dinner, huh?
Yeah.
Wanted a बहुत तीखा है.
Got a meal on top of the bus. I was able to prove to Sabyasachi that I can eat tikka kana.
Toda tikka.
बहुत अच्छा. Let me help you. Get this on.
Oh, it's much better.
When I see the way you're making me, checking me, now I see the way you're taking
The bus ride itself was beautiful. We saw some nice sights. We saw Marine Drive. It was very beautiful and a lot of fun.
It's called the Queen's Necklace because the lights look like a necklace.
Looks lovely at night.
Yeah.
Sabi, what's amazing is in Boston or even in New York at 1 o'clock on a Sunday, the whole city would probably be lights out, but here it's vibrant. Everyone's still out.
Well, that's why they call it the city of dreams.
What's that there?
That's an Indian wedding.
Wow.
There must be about 10,000 people in there.
There must be a million lights. That's incredible.
If you're a foreign bride or a foreign groom getting married in India style, I think it's very important for you to have a lot of fun and go the whole hog. Do everything that is Indian. You know what? A good meal in India always ends with a sweet nothing, which is quite wicked. It's called the pan.
Girl, you bring something new to me. And I love it, love it.
That's certainly unique. I've never tasted anything like that. What do you think?
I'm loving it already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice and sweet and crunchy.
I must confess, beautiful she is.
Mitali and Nick finally have a little bit of time off to themselves because they've had a grueling 17-hour flight. They're jet lagged, they're tired. But this is a wonderful evening. Stay with me and watch the rest of their makeovers while I slip on very quietly and give them a little bit of space. I have to finish a lehenga and a sherwani in record 6.5 days.
Love just feels getting to know each other.
That was crazy. We were just on a double-decker bus with Sabyasachi overnight in Mumbai with my American fiance. If you told me 2 weeks ago that this is what I would be doing a few days before my wedding, I'd have told you were crazy. So day 2 is done and 6 days to go. I'll see you tomorrow in the morning for day 3. Bye, good night.
Good night.
Mitali and Nicholas, Harvard graduates getting married in Mumbai. Their first tryst in the City of Lights with Sabyasachi ended on a rather trippy note. The challenge for Team BBB starts now with only 6 days at hand to make them look almost perfect on their most important day.
When I'm looking at you and you're looking at me,